Hey guys, the Drunken Ewok here. I just jumped on YouTube this morning and I got called out by Unirock last night during his live stream for making a video promising more and then disappearing. So I figured I'd jump on and give you an official response to that. I'm sorry, I am a slacker. I know. I am working on some stuff. I just haven't had any time to edit. As always, I take off or bite off more than I can chew. I've had a really busy couple of weeks at work, so I haven't been focused on this as much as I would like to be, and I haven't been focused on myself as much as I would like to be. I'm feeling myself starting to slip a little bit. My emotions are all over the place. I can't control my frustrations and my anger and my sadness right now, and that always means that I just haven't given myself enough love. And it's been a really emotionally charged week for me, for a lot of my friends and acquaintances around here, even people that I don't know terribly well. I've seen a lot of turmoil this week, so we're all a little off. And I guess I just really wanted to, remind everybody that it's very important to give yourself that self-care, but it's also very important to maintain awareness of your own emotions at any given point in time. All we can really do is put out love. It sounds silly, it sounds hippie, but at the end of the day, when everything else is stripped away from us, it is the good that we can put out into the world. I do believe there is a balance to everything. I believe there are, a lot of horrible things going on right now in the world, but at the same time, there is this intense and beautiful uprising of consciousness. There's a shift in consciousness that is happening. I'm watching it happen to the people around me, and it's a beautiful thing. It's something that took me 5 years to kind of fully wake up to. I'm here, but I'm seeing others kind of follow along, and that's really cool. And I just want to remind everybody that that is there, and things are shifting, and the power is within us. So a few days ago, we had a very tragic thing happen here in the county that I live in on the East Coast. A police officer lost his life pursuing a criminal in broad daylight, the parking lot of a convenience store that is a huge chain in our area. We all go to on a regular basis, whether it's to put gas in our car or to pick up a sub or to grab a cup of coffee. You're probably at this establishment at least once a week, if not more, if you are from my area. So to have a police officer lose his life in broad daylight in the middle of that parking lot, I think it really was jarring for a lot of us. Now, maybe I should have prefaced this by saying I live in a city that has per capita an incredibly high crime rate, incredibly high. However, that crime tends to stay within a certain network, and as long as you're not a criminal in that network, you feel pretty safe about, not being caught up in any sort of criminal activities. I literally live 2 blocks from the heart of where a lot of this stuff goes on. Now, what happened? What I'm referencing with the police officer was a separate incident. It's further away from where I live than this crime center that I'm near. But it is one of those things that's drug related, and as long as you're not part of those circles, you don't really have too much to worry about. I never ever feel safe where I live. I live in a downtown area. I walk to both of my jobs at all hours of the night, and I've never ever felt concerned. Yet for some reason, what happened in this parking lot the other day, in front of tons of people in the middle of the day, is so incredibly unsettling to me and to a lot of people. There's a lot of us who have been very emotional over it this week. Furthermore, not only did the police officer lose his life, but The criminal took off, ended up about 20 minutes outside of where this happened at his parents' house. I found out yesterday that my brother's boss is a best friend of this criminal's father. His parents, they received a call from him that I don't know if he disclosed everything, but that something had gone down and he was going to their house. And his parents immediately called the cops and informed them of his location. In the 12 to 18 hours, I don't know exactly how long it took, but in the hours that followed, there was a very intense shootout with the SWAT team and, this young gentleman that all took place in his parents' house. And at the end of it all, they lost their son, who came out guns a-blazing hours after grenade had been thrown into the house. And I mean, shots from tanks and, all that crazy tactical stuff was being used. This kid managed to survive all of that, and in the end, come out guns a-blazing. It's like 9:30 in the morning, trying to take the SWAT team down, and obviously, lost his own life in the process. So, what I'm really hung up on, I mean, obviously, the loss of life from the police officer is a terrible tragedy, and we really do owe so much to those who put themselves out in the line of duty. It's certainly something that you have to be a very, very strong and selfless person to do that. So thank you, all of you. My heart goes out to the family of that fallen officer. I can't even imagine the pain that you must be feeling. But I found myself really thinking about the parents of this criminal yesterday. And, turning their own son in, and then losing him and their entire home in the course of 24 hours, not even 24 hours. I just can't imagine the pain and the anguish, even on the criminal side. And that's crazy. And I just think that that's, everything is relative, and we need to be aware of us because at the end of the day, it is all we can control. It is all we have. It is all we can do. So anyway, very emotionally charged week. I found myself thinking about, the police officer, the criminal, their families, a lot more than I would typically, put time into for tragedies that I hear of. I'm the type of person that I can't read too much. I can't watch too much news. I get too depressed. I get too sad. I need to learn personally how to not take in every emotion. I feel everything, which is great. It's wonderful to be that open and perceptive, but it's also a curse to not be able to not take it on, and not feel that sadness. So I woke up this morning in a terrible mood, and I don't really understand why. It was a beautiful night. We had a really cool thunderstorm in the middle of the night. I love thunderstorms, so I woke up. I should have woken up happy. I had like a whole ton of Mexican food last night and passed out by like 9 p.m., so like I got a lot of sleep. But for whatever reason, I was miserable, and I chose to fight with my boyfriend this morning, and not only start a fight with him, but continue to like aggravate that and pick at that until he left for work. And then, of course, after he left for work, I'm sitting here in my own sadness going, what the hell is wrong with me? And I felt myself, losing control earlier in the week. But again, I didn't take the time. I haven't taken the time to set aside time for myself to do yoga or meditate or even just read a book and get out of my own head and into something else with me and no obligations. And I didn't do that, and it led to me being a total asshole this morning. So the point of this ramble, I know where I was going with this. this. So as I was driving home, I dropped my boyfriend off yesterday morning at work. I was driving to my work down the main highway, and I was crying thinking about this police officer and everything, just really getting to me. I was sad, but I was in a moment, I guess, of empathy and compassion. And all of a sudden, somebody cuts me off on the road, and I feel like from the bottom up, I just feel this anger welling up inside of me, and I'm like, ugh. And then I stop myself. Like, wait a minute, you can't do this. You cannot return the energy that this person like cut me off and then realized they were about to hit me, so they went back to their lane, and then they blew their horn as if like this was something that was my fault, even though you're coming into my lane. So I started to get really angry, and that in that moment, I remembered a story that my Reiki master told us the last time that I was with her, about how Reiki is a very powerful thing, and sometimes we as practitioners need to remember that it's the people that seem like they wouldn't want it the most, the people that you really could not care less about whether or not the rest of their day goes okay, because they're one big giant jerk. They're the ones we're here for. They're the ones we have to put our love and our energy towards. And just like that, I took a couple deep breaths, did a couple, envisioning techniques that worked for me, and I was sending that a-hole some good loving 528 hertz vibes to him. And it instantly changed my whole demeanor and the energy that I was holding. And, ultimately it helped alleviate the sadness that I had been feeling before that person even entered into my lane. So that's what I want to leave you with today. 2 things. Remain aware, know yourself very, very well, and listen to yourself. And when anything feels off, figure out a way to give yourself love. That might be different for you than it is for me, but figure out a way to allow yourself to live on the frequency that you deserve to live on, which is a much higher frequency than a lot of the angry drones that are around us right now. Remind yourself of that. Only you can give that to yourself. And know that that gift is the greatest thing that we have. Being able to take that love and to push it out, even in a moment of anger and hatred, it's so important. And I really wish that I had reminded myself of that this morning before I entered this fight that then, led to ruining our days, our beautiful, beautiful Saturdays, in a senseless way. So that's it. 14-minute ramble done. A drunken walk out. Enjoy this beautiful day. Give yourself some love in any way you can, and spread that. So it's really funny. I just signed off the last video, and my Facebook feed was open in another window, and Upvee, UPVEE, shared a video that, of course, resonated with me super well, so I figured I was going to add like a quick little update here to the end and share that. It says, one day, Buddha was walking through a village. A very angry man, quite rude, came up to him and began insulting him. You have no right teaching others, he shouted. You are as stupid as everyone else. You are nothing but a fake. Buddha was not upset by these insults. Instead, he asked the young man, tell me, if you buy a gift for someone and that person does not take it, to whom does the gift belong? The man was surprised, but answered, "It would belong to me because I bought the gift." The Buddha smiled and said, "That is correct, and it is exactly the same with your anger. If you become angry with me, and I do not get insulted, then the anger falls back on you. You are then the only one who becomes unhappy, not me. You just hurt yourself. If you want to stop hurting yourself, you must get rid of your anger and become loving instead. When you hate others, you yourself become unhappy. But when you love others, everyone is happy." I realized yesterday, in that angry moment of road rage, that I needed to replace my anger with love. But I did not notice that this morning when I was getting into my silly domestic fight. So, thank you, Up V and Buddha, once again for further proving what it was that I was trying to say. Have a great day, guys.